Oh, good morning. Greetings. Just sat down with my kofefe. Is that how it's supposed to be pronounced? Sup. Yeah, I'm rocking the Three Companies shirt again. It's been a pretty good show. If you have not seen it, if you have happen to have not seen it, it's pretty good. Yeah. So what's up? Today, there's quite a bit to discuss, and hopefully, I will be able to get through it all. But we'll see how it plays out. Um, yeah. Oh, and I'm drinking coffee in a new mug. I got it from Kalahari. It's pretty good. It's much better than the other mug, and it has like this lip right here, which is cool. But this is pretty hot right now. Yeah, I have to let it cool down a little bit. All right. Um, yeah, quite a bit again, as I mentioned, to discuss today. But we'll get into that in a moment. Actually, in fact, let me go ahead. Let me just add this on Twitter real quick. Like, all right, copy link. All right, hopefully got the word out here. Cool, cool, cool. I should probably have the YouTube Studio in a separate tab here. Dude, I swear, it'd be much easier for me if I had if I had the stats, or the analytics like on a separate monitor for me. But I don't, so unfortunately I can't really yeah. Most of my views come from after the VOD is finished. But that's okay. Okay. So we got that going for us. Cool. Oh boy. Ooh. Yeah, so recently I've been very interested in historical documentaries, specifically with um, Asia and China and Taiwan and stuff, because I've been doing some research into the relationship between those two countries recently, the historical relationship rather. But I happened upon a documentary the other day, which was about the Great Leap Forward under Mao Zedong, and pretty bad to say the least. I think that it is the common denominator among communist countries to starve its population. It's actually pretty insane, and like the degree to which this takes place. You know, of course, there are sometimes extenuating circumstances, such as in Venezuela, which, for starters, many people who label Venezuela as a socialist country are ill-informed by virtue of the fact that the country, in no respect, or in any meaningful respect, should be considered socialist. But notwithstanding that, um, sanctions placed upon Venezuela specifically have led to, of course, the economic uh, um, the economic problems over there in that country, and that's just worth noting. But yeah, I mean, like, objectively speaking, if you look at like the history of like the USSR, which is also another um, thing I've been interested in recently and looking into, um, you start to what becomes revealed rather is this, like, I think it just goes to show how um, the usage of like lefty iconography and the aesthetics associated with like socialism, whatever, um, can really make people think like that these countries truly were socialist. I mean, when you dig into it, they have. I mean, with respect to like the USSR and with China, these countries, by no stretch of the imagination, are even close to resembling communism in theory. Um, it's simply just a command economy using the vanguard as a means of you know portraying themselves, the state rather, as for the people. I mean, when I was when I was doing some of this research, including watching documentaries, it's specifically about Mao Zedong and all that. Um, Dude, it's just like slavery. These people who are uh, when the land was reallocated post 1949, uh, and the landlords are subsequently executed. This is within China, by the way, were either executed or exiled or what have you. You know, it they gave it back to the peasants, but eventually they collectivized, and this is when things became problematic with respect to the distribution of, you know, grains and other um, yields made or yields from farms. Right? It was pretty fucked up, pretty bad, and unfortunately, the CCP was very cognizant of the shit going on. But I don't want to dwell too much on this. I just figured I would share with you guys what I found. Oh god. And maybe I'll do more of a research stream on that. I definitely want to do a research stream on the history of like the USSR and China, but that would take quite a while. And I think there is a day I have in mind for doing that. It's going to be sometime in October. Yeah, we'll figure it out because I'll have some time to go over that. But yeah, so that's what I've been interested in recently is some historical shit. Speaking of China, if you guys have been following, Nancy Pelosi, who is the House Speaker of the United States, had recently visited Taiwan, which ruffled some feathers, to say the least, with China. Let me pull up Pelosi's tweet to demonstrate what she said. Um, Give me one sec. All right, this should work, maybe. All right, 1 second, please. This has been up for a while, so it's like kind of annoying. There we go. All right. We Gucci? We Gucci? All right, cool. Let me. So Nancy Pelosi, as mentioned before, had recently visited Taiwan. Now I'm going to read through this thread, and then we'll go through things point by point here. Just a rough timeline of what's happening right now. All right, so Nancy Pelosi, this is from Twitter. Oh, wait, hold on. You guys should hear me well. Okay, cool. Our delegation's visit to Taiwan honors America's unwavering commitment to supporting Taiwan's vibrant democracy. Our discussions with Taiwan leadership reaffirm our support for our partner and promote our shared interests, including advancing a free and open Indo-Pacific region. America's solidarity with the 23 million people of Taiwan is more important today than ever as the world faces the choice between autocracy and democracy. This is definitely a pot shot to China, 100%. And, in fact, I would argue Russia as well. Our visit is one of several congressional delegations to Taiwan, and it in no way contradicts longstanding United States policy guided by the Taiwan Relations Act of 1979, a U.S.-China Joint Committees, and the 6 assurances. The United States continues to oppose unilateral efforts to change the status quo. Gotcha. And that's about all she mentioned there. Now, China's response, basically a long post here, or a statement rather, that is basically coping hardcore. We'll read a little bit of it. On the 2nd of August, in disregard of China's strong opposition and serious representations, Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives Nancy Pelosi visited China's Taiwan region. This is a serious violation of the One China principle and the provisions of the 3 China-U.S. Joint Committees. Not committees, communiques, or whatever you pronounce this. It has a severe impact on the political foundation of China-U.S. relations and seriously infringes upon China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. It gravely undermines peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait and sends a seriously wrong signal to the separatist forces. By the way, look at the language being employed here, all because a U.S. representative, or U.S. diplomat, set 2 feet on the soil of Taiwan. Like, they're this upset. It gravely undermines peace and stability because what? They put their feet on Taiwan soil? All they did was visit it. They didn't even do... The United States, didn't even do anything. They just visited Taiwan. Now, an argument can be made, of course, that we have been supplying weapons to Taiwan, which would be apropos, I suppose. But this is specifically outlining Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. So that isn't really relevant here. Yeah, China firmly opposes and sternly condemns this and has made serious démarches and strong protests to the United States. This is, of course, to be expected given the fact that China has been very touchy about Taiwan and people recognizing it as a sovereign nation. Legally speaking, it is not, but functionally it is. Oh, wow. It's a little difficult for you guys to read, but I think it's okay. Yeah, so the Taiwan question is the most important and most sensitive issue at the very heart of the China-U.S. relations. The Taiwan Strait is facing a new round of tensions and severe challenges, and the fundamental cause is the repeated moves by the Taiwan authorities and the United States to change the status quo. Now, they are operating under the premise that Taiwan is because it's the One China policy, of course, and they're operating under the premise that it is completely under the purview of China itself. However, there are many different factors that are contradictory to this premise. Of course, one of which being, or several of which being, they have their own passports, they have their own currency, they have their own embassies, their own diplomats, their own constitution. Many of these things are in alignment with what we would consider a nation state, colloquially speaking, at least. But this is kind of like somewhat highlighting. This is somewhat highlighting, I think, the fact that people, and by people I mean like MLs and tankies and China itself, are putting the onus of tension, like the responsibility for why there was tension in the first place, upon the United States. Now, they outlined Taiwan authorities too, which is, of course. But the United States simply visiting Taiwan, they argue, is a serious escalation of I don't know. All they did was visit them, and in fact, I think they have done this for a long time. Remember Newt Greenwich? How do you pronounce his name? He visited Taiwan in 1997. So like, this isn't some like new like unprecedented sort of thing to happen. Um, People have been visiting Taiwan. U.S. diplomats have been visiting Taiwan for a while now. Anyway, a lot of this is coping hardcore. And in response to this, it should be noted, by the way, I think that this is really important to note, actually, is that leading up to Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, China diplomats were, they were making the claim that I think on Twitter, I don't remember, I think it was on Twitter, that that they were like going to shoot down the plane transporting Pelosi to Taiwan, like completely, utterly deranged. Which is ironic given the fact that this is the same nation saying that it's the U.S. undermining peace and stability, even though they're threatening to like shoot down a plane transporting one of our diplomats. Now, in response to this visit, China has been conducting many more, military exercises. This is, of course, to threaten invasion. And it has gotten to the point here where we're seeing some fucked up shit. China fired missiles over the island of Taiwan, and the Japanese Defense Ministry has claimed the incident would mark a serious escalation at the start of a 4-day military exercise. Yeah. Now, this was on August 4th, so this is 2 days ago. The Japanese Defense Ministry added that Chinese missiles were presumed to have landed in Japan's own exclusive economic zone, neither China nor... Yeah. So if we look at this map, where the missiles have landed around Taiwan. Right here, right there, right there. It is, yeah, it's been pretty tense, to say the least. So they're basically shooting missiles, not just out, right by the shoreline, or you can literally see explosions taking place if you were standing on the beaches of Taiwan. They're shooting it over the island supposedly, so that's great. Yeah, and if we little bit more here about the military drills. So Taiwan said Saturday that China's military drills appear to simulate an attack on the self-ruled island after multiple Chinese warships and aircraft crossed the median line of the Taiwan Strait following Pelosi's visit to Taipei. Like, in this photo provided by China's members look through binoculars during military exercises. Look how fucking close they are to the island. It should be noted also that prior reports leading up to these military drills, or describing them rather after the visit, was that they were conducting these drills 12 nautical miles off the shore, which is I mean, that's basically like invading. I mean, this is as close as you can get to an invasion without actually doing it, because you're shooting missiles literally over the island. You're conducting military drills, like so close to the island that like people can literally see the ships and the explosions. This is as close as it gets. Taiwan's armed forces issued an alert, dispatched air and naval patrols around the island. Okay, good. China's Ministry of Defense said in a Saturday statement that it has carried out military exercises as planned in the seas and airspaces to the north, southwest, the east. So basically encapsulating the entire island with military drills. China launched live-fire military drills following Pelosi's trip to Taiwan earlier this week, saying it violated the One China policy. China sees the island as a breakaway province to be annexed by force if necessary, and considers visits to Taiwan by foreign officials as recognizing its sovereignty. Interesting. Taiwan's army also said it detected 4 unmanned aerial vehicles flying into the vicinity of the offshore country of Kinmen on Friday night and fired warning flares in response. So it should be noted additionally that if China were to annex Taiwan, like literally go like forcibly send like military, arsenals and combatants onto the island, it's going to be a bloodbath. I don't think that is an unreasonable prediction. Not only that, but them seizing control of the factories and the production output from Taiwan itself. It would like if they had, because Taiwan is a major exporter of like computer chips, right, or like semiconductors, what have you. If China were to have control over that major export, I mean, that would be pretty rough, to say the least, given, China's, authoritarianism. So that's unnerving. The 4 drones, which Taiwan believed were Chinese, were spotted over waters around the Kinmen Island group and nearby Liao Islands. Okay. Our government and military are closely monitoring China's military exercises and information warfare operations, ready to respond as necessary. That's good. I call on the international community, to support democratic Taiwan and halt any escalation of regional security situation. The Chinese military exercises began Thursday and are expected to last until Sunday. So far, the drills have included missile strikes on targets on the seas, north and south of the island. I honestly, God, think that none of us thought that Russia was going to invade, right? Like, well, the reasonable people believed, based upon the preponderance of evidence, that Russia was going to invade Ukraine. There was still a good chunk of people, delusional as they may be, that Russia was never going to invade Ukraine. And it happened. Now we're witnessing something similar. I think at this point it's not a matter of if, it's when they're going to fully like ground invasion, Taiwan. Maybe I'm wrong. And this is all simply a show being propped up by China to deter any further recognition by the international community over Taiwan's sovereignty. That's a possibility, but I think this is just a long time coming, because they already see Taiwan as China. And if that's the case, then their justification for, annexing Taiwan would be more than justified. It's kind of like how Putin claimed that the Donbass and Luhansk regions of Ukraine were Russia, and they just said that it was them, it was independent, so they just went in and took it. Not to say that that is the same as this circumstance, but I believe it is. I do believe that the logic behind it is similar. It's a common tactic among authoritarians to utilize blood and soil to soften up the backlash from the international community with respect to invading, and to justify the invasion, of course. But yeah, so we are pretty. This is pretty tense situation, to say the least. Oh yeah, and also Pelosi visited Tiananmen Square in 1991 to support democracy. I don't think that they forgot about that. um, yeah, I remember seeing that. Not because I was around in 1991. I saw a picture of Pelosi dabbing on Beijing in 1991. But I highly doubt that that was forgotten about from the Chinese, government. So them or Pelosi specifically visiting Taiwan probably uh, made it doubly, triggering for them, I guess. Oh, this is interesting. Cyber attacks aiming to bring down the website of Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has doubled between Thursday and Friday, compared to similar attacks ahead of Pelosi's visit, according to Taiwan's central news agency. Yeah. Other ministries and government agencies, such as the Ministry of Interior, also face similar attacks on their website. So a bunch of cyber attacks taking place. This is also to be expected. Should be noted as well, Taiwanese overwhelmingly favor maintaining the status quo. This is, of course, obvious. Because if I were a citizen of Taiwan, I probably also would want to be, I don't know, under the rule of an authoritarian country. So yeah, that's what's happening with that. Now, additional response from China is that they are placing sanctions on Nancy Pelosi. If we read a little bit here, the Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, says China will not isolate Taiwan by preventing U.S. officials from visiting the island. Pelosi and a congressional delegation were in Japan on their last trip. Yeah. The statement from Chinese Foreign Ministry said that the U.S. has disregarded China's concerns. We know this, and are announcing to place sanctions on the Speaker and members of her family. Yeah. So that's great. Now, the sanctions placed on Nancy Pelosi, I don't care. I think that it just demonstrates a little bit more like the extent to which China is willing to go. I mean, they are very they're really upset, of course, about this, about the United States sending a diplomat to Taiwan. Um, they're very upset about that. So I guess it's not really surprising they would place sanctions on Pelosi. I'm personally more concerned about the military drills taking place right outside of Taiwan. So yeah. Um, yeah, so basically a lot of shit going on with this. Honestly, I don't really, in terms of the geopolitical strategies employed by the United States here, I don't think it was bad to send Pelosi there. I think you got to stand your ground on this. And I mean, Biden has expressed willingness to employ military defense if China happens to invade Taiwan. So I don't know how that would play out. I really don't, because we're both two nuclear superpowers. Excuse me, superpowers. So like, I mean, I'm not really sure. Some more news associated with this. China has prohibited use of the phrase "made in Taiwan" on any product the island now exports to the mainland, and now must use the name Chinese Taipei or Taiwan China. Now, this is trivial, but China's fucking coping, dude. I mean, like, they will sift through every little thing to feel valid in their identity, right? To to feel valid in the sense that Taiwan is really part of China. Hmm. Jackson Stinkle also providing us a high IQ take here. Call me crazy, but I don't think it's a good idea to provoke a war with China after we just got our asses kicked in Afghanistan, got smoked in the Ukraine proxy war. I have much to say about this by Russia, and failed coup attempts in Venezuela, Syria, Bolivia, blah blah blah. This undermines a lot of things. For starters, this is framed around the idea that the United States is the one actually responsible for the tensions that are rising in Taiwan, between Taiwan and China. This is nonsensical and historically illiterate, to say the least. There have always been tensions with or without U.S. involvement between Taiwan and China. This has also been the case, I believe, to a perhaps lesser extent with Ukraine and Russia, because Russia has always been vying for like reuniting the USSR in the motherland and all that shit. But with specifically with Taiwan and China, this is ridiculous. This is nonsensical. The fact that, and I swear to God, dude, like especially like these tankies, like why is it the United States' responsibility to make it that China doesn't invade Taiwan? Has it not like occurred to these people that perhaps it is the responsibility of, I don't know, China to not invade? They're the ones who have the ultimate like they're the ones who can pull the lever or don't pull the lever, you know? Like they are the ones who are doing these military drills. Now you can you can use the United States as a scapegoat to excuse your threatening of invasion, but the fact that you are putting the onus of responsibility upon the United States by visiting Taiwan? I'm sorry. Hey, I don't know if maybe this is a hot take, but I think that a U.S. diplomat visiting a nation state does not justify another nation state invading Taiwan. You know, like I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a hot take, but I think that by simply visiting Taiwan, this is in no way excuses the threat, the threatening nature rather that China has been imposing upon Taiwan this past week. I mean, like, you're really going to invade Taiwan because Pelosi visited it, and then you're going to threaten to shoot down the fucking plane that she was being transported on? Like, this is crazy. Can you imagine if the shoe was on the other foot here? Can you imagine for a second if like a Chinese diplomat was sending someone to like Hawaii and we like threatening to shoot down their plane? This is, honest to God, psychopathic. And it's so ironic given the fact that these are the same people, China specifically. China is claiming that it is the United States who is undermining peace, when it is them who are literally threatening to like murder our diplomats. This is unbelievable. Major projection there. So as far as I'm concerned, that is where we're at. Pelosi visits Taiwan. China flips out. They threaten to missile strike our the plane that is transporting our diplomat on it. They are threatening now invading Taiwan as a response of a U.S. politician visiting it, and all the while claiming that it is the United States who is undermining peace and stability. The same argument, or not even the same. You know what? Maybe it is the same argument. The same argument was basically made with Russia and Ukraine, because people claimed that it was, in fact, the United States who pushed Russia into invading Ukraine. That is the claim and the argument being made from some individuals, which is unbelievable. Like, it is so insane and so detached from the like historical like preconditions, from the geopolitics surrounding the area. Like, it is so detached from reality. It's mind-boggling. It wasn't because Russia was the one ultimately responsible for invading Ukraine. And similarly, this argument is being employed here with respect to Taiwan. The fact that the United States visited Taiwan, this of course means that China has no choice but to conduct these military drills so close to the island that you can basically see them from the shores of Taiwan, and forcing China to potentially invade. This is ridiculous. And this is the same like scapegoat bullshit that every authoritarian regime uses to justify annexation or invasion of, territory near their nation state. Now, with that being said, there's not much more for me to discuss with this story as of now, but I do want to do like a research stream. I don't know if I'm going to do it next week. Maybe I will. Do a research stream about the historical relationship between China and Taiwan. I'm going to be doing some research prior to this stream, to that stream rather, and hopefully we'll learn a little bit more. I did cover a little bit on the last stream, but I focus a little bit more on the way back, like back in like the tens of thousands of years, right? Like a long time ago, hundreds of years ago too. I want to focus a little bit more on the more modern history, like from like the 19th century onward, right? Like I want to look at the history of Taiwan from when it was ceded from Japan onward, right? So I guess the 21st century or the 20th century, excuse me. Looking at that, that's going to take a while because there's a lot of like other events that I would want to look into associated with the historical timeline with China and Taiwan. But yeah. So we can say that for next week's stream because that will definitely take a hot minute. Cool. All right. What? Okay. Before we move to the next segment, I just saw this. Maybe it'll be good content. We'll see. All right, hold on. All right. Okay. Apparently, this GOP candidate from Minnesota said is questioning whether disabled people should be allowed to vote or like ESLs. Yeah, I don't know anything.
A DNC entity sued Steve Simon. It's kind of what I call fake, a fake court fight because Simon thought this was great. They attacked the voter assistance laws in Minnesota that limited the number of people that, say, a political operative or anyone, maybe an employee in a nursing home, anyone out there, they limited the number of people that one person could help vote or the number of people who could pick up ballots and bring them in for counting. That was the lawsuit. They wanted both of those laws eliminated.
Right.
And it was a split decision by the Minnesota Supreme Court. And I was delighted. I was actually a little pessimistic about winning either one.
Okay.
So the Minnesota Supreme Court ruled that indeed you can help an unlimited number of people vote if they are disabled or can't read or speak English, which raises the question, should they be voting? We can talk about that another.
Oh, damn. Hold on one second. Yeah, that's no context was omitted. That is straight up, you know, even with like the tone of her voice implies that she doesn't believe these people should be voting. Mm. It is of the interest of conservatives to make it to where less people are able to vote. Because the more people that vote, the less likely they are to win. Because, a majority of people in this country are liberals. Now, I don't really know the pattern by which those who are disabled or who are ESL, how much of a proportion they vote Democrat or conservative. I feel like they disproportionately vote Democrat. If I'm just, throwing it out there. Yeah, this is bad. Like, unambiguously bad. Um, we'll see if anything else comes with this, I guess. But I don't even know what else to say. Just like it's good when people vote. I don't know. Enfranchisement is based. Oh God. Okay. Now I suppose we can move forward with the next thingy thing. Oh, before I do that, you guys want to see a picture of my cat? It's a rhetorical question. You're going to see it anyway. Look at this picture. This wasn't me who snapped it. My wife snapped it. Look at how... Isn't that, like, cool? Like, I don't know. Like, it just looks really... First off, high def, right? But also, like, it just looks cool. Like, the lighting in the back. He's sleeping right now. I can see him. Yeah, he's so cute. But, that lighting in the back is pretty cool. Alright, let's move forward with the next thingy thing. Which is this. Alright. So, Indiana has passed the first abortion ban following the overturning of Roe v. Wade. This was from last night. Now, here is some of the commentary during that passing of the bill of the abortion ban. In fact, let's just listen, okay? Let's just hear them out.
Representative Engelman, does this apply to a fifth grader who has been a victim of incest?
Yeah. What do you think, buddy? Does this apply? This is abortion ban, which has no exemptions for rape and incest. Does that apply to children who are raped and who are subject to incest as well?
It does.
Oh, okay. That long pause, by the way, is her, like, basically reflecting on the fact that this is going to make her look bad, but she still has to stand by it anyway because she's a fucking, like, she's a fucking conservative.
But I think it's harmful to put a
But
minor in the position of being the new Jane Roe.
what? What? Yeah? Does that mean that you should pass the bill, though?
The weight of whether or not we allow lives to be ended should not rest on the traumatized shoulders
Oh, she's just reading from her script then. Okay.
of a young rape survivor.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're going to have to say that again.
Not rest on the traumatized lives to be ended. Whether or not we allow lives to be ended should not rest on the traumatized shoulders of a young rape survivor.
Yeah. Wait, if that's the case, then why are you trying to push for this bill? we hear a little bit more here from their proceeding here.
I'm thinking about situations that all mothers might face here, and that is, say, at 17 weeks, I had an ultrasound and I was told that the fetus is failing to thrive and has no chance of survival. With this amendment, is it true that I would have to carry that fetus to term? Is that true?
Yes. Dude, oh my God. Why can't they just own up to it? That's what I want to know. When they're exposed like face to face with someone who is providing simple questions like this, they pause. Just own up to it. Say you fucking hate women. Say you want to control their bodies. Say that they can't get an abortion under any circumstance. Just stop being a pussy and just own up to it.
You rephrase the question.
Can you rephrase the question in a way that doesn't make me look like a raving lunatic?
Sure. So imagine I'm pregnant. I'm 17 weeks pregnant, and I've learned that the fetus is not thriving and has no chance of survival. Is it true under this amendment that I would have to carry that pregnancy to term?
Yes.
He's avoiding eye contact because he's a beta.
Okay, a couple of more questions. So who will pay for the funeral after the delivery of a dead or dying infant?
You.
I presume you or a trustee.
Unbelievable.
Okay, so we're foisting that expense upon the grieving would-be mother. So one more question. Do you have any guidance as to how I would talk to my family or my young children about what I'm experiencing as I'm going through extreme trauma leading up to a delivery of a dead infant, that they're seeing me go through this pregnancy? Can you imagine the trauma there?
What doesn't make sense is that these people claim to be pro-life, right? Yet at the same time, even if the fetus will die, even if it's non-viable, even if it's a stillborn, they still want the woman to take the baby to term. Like, does that make any fucking sense? Like seriously, the fact that these people claim to be pro-life and at the same time are still forcing the woman to bear a child who won't be alive when it's born. Is this a joke? They really just I feel like this just again for the 100,000th time demonstrates that they're not truly pro-life. They are pro-controlling women's bodies. That's what it is. Like, can you think of another explanation, any reasonable explanation, to bring a dead fetus to term and then to force that mother to pay for the funeral? Does that make any fucking sense?
Do you think there's a way to handle that that makes sense?
Well, I would simply say this. I don't think any of us are guaranteed tomorrow. All of us must accept death as a consequence of life itself. And that I would hope that you would turn to your faith and your loved ones to help guide you through that and put faith and trust in our Creator, the Almighty God.
I'm thinking.
So his response to that is basically, just suck it up. Yeah. Complete and utter lunatic psychopaths. That's what these people are.
The body?
The body inside. Oh, okay. That's a spicy quote here.
The body
And you can hear people in the background protesting, I think.
inside of the mom's body is not her body. Let me repeat that. The body inside of the mom's body is not her body. Not her body. Not her choice. Trying to end all abortion is not forced birth, but rather it is trying to end murdering children. It is the just and true thing to do.
Hold on one second. All right. So this guy says it is to prevent the murdering of children. Hey guys, does this look like children to you? If I were to say, like, hey, draw a picture of a child, okay? Draw a picture of a child. Does this look like a child to you? Do any of these pictures look like children? Up here, I mean, an infant, but like right here, like, does this look like a child? No? Oh, yeah, because that's not what we mean when we say that. Okay. Yeah, honestly, Christian nationalism is going to end the world, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Because these people are death cultists. Okay. They are. Because it is like Christians, like evangelical Christians specifically, um, see anything like they want to bring the second coming, right? They want to bring the rapture rather, and in preparedness for this, they just accept the pain and suffering and death of large swaths of human beings. This is why they are against the idea of fighting against climate change. They think that it is divine intervention that is, warming the planet, and it is not our responsibility to touch or to mitigate that, right? They don't simply put, they don't believe in anthropogenic climate change, and as a consequence, even if they don't want to enforce any sort of climate change policies, and in fact, I mean, like, it doesn't matter. All roads lead to Rome in this circumstance, because even if they were to grant the idea that, like, we are contributing to climate change in some respect, they would simply say that it is not. They don't care. It is because it is it is God enforcing His will upon the humans of this planet. So they are death cultists, and they are speedrunning our collective demise as a human race. The longer that they may remain politically relevant. So that's where we're at. And hey, I've tempered my anti-theism rhetoric when doing streams during this whole thing, because I feel like it's just a waste of my time. And also, I want to focus a little bit more on, like, the arguments presented by pro-lifers. At the end of the day, though, I think that is a lot of it has to be attributable, to evangelical Christians. And I mean, I could go hard in the paint, against theism as a concept, which I'm staunchly opposed to, of course. But with respect to, like, Christian nationalism and using religion to justify the enforcement of, suppressive policies, I could be going much harder in the paint there. But I just think, again, it's like a waste of time, because, like, what are you gonna say? It's like, to an evangelical Christian, what are you gonna say? Just be like, you are guided by basically you are guided by a false notion that that the universe was artificially engineered. You are guided by delusion, and like, there's no God. There's After you die, there's literally nothing that happens. Like, what is their response? Do you think it's just gonna be like saying, oh, I disagree. You have to have faith. Um, you know, like, it's like kind of pointless to even argue with them. And I mean, I could argue against policies like this, right? Because that's much easier. But in terms of redress or addressing the fundamental proponent contributing to, like, why they believe whatever they believe, like, fundamentally, I mean, I don't think there's anything I can do, because a lot of their predilections are molded through growing up in a likely religious household, or sometimes there is a major stressor in their life. Maybe they, were an alcoholic and then they became a born again Christian. Like, I don't know. There's not much I can really do, I feel like, to argue someone's perspective on religion. I can prevent my own. I can present my own perspective, but I mean, it's not as though I'm going to like move people over. You know. I mean, maybe I can, but that is a tall mountain to climb. Yeah. That's wild. I wonder if there's more snippets from that. Um, there was a okay. Yeah, I wonder if there's like more snippets because that was spicy. So abortion straight up is just banned in Indiana, I guess. Well, that's awesome. Well, it says a near total ban, which just means a total ban, basically. Apparently, it takes effect in September 15th. I didn't know Indiana was that red. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, there's a lot to be extracted from this. SB1. Oh boy. Yeah, a lot of yeah, I was right. There were people protesting like outside of the House chamber. Okay. Well, there you have it. Oh, there was actually another thing. Um, hold on, and it pertains to this segment. It's tangentially related. Let me see here. Oh, it's a little far down here. Oh yeah, we'll get to Florida in a second here, guys, because DeSantis is kind of going down the same path Indiana is. Where is it though? Hold on. Let's go down. Let's go down. Let's go down. I didn't know it was this far down. I guess I like. Oh, we'll get to that too. Oh my God, there's okay. There's a couple of things to address. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. My man over here. All right, hold on. This is gonna be. This is gonna be interesting. All right. Um, hold on. I think to really hold on. Okay, I have the video up, but I do want to bring up another video to make a broader point. Oh God. God, where's that video at? Am I really not gonna be able to find this? Because I'm not gonna be. Okay, I'm gonna have to look for something. Hold on. Sorry for the detour a little bit. Because I do want to drive this point home, and it requires me looking or trying to find this thing here. Oh wow. No, it's not that one. Might be this one. Okay, yeah.
Screen. And then urinate forever stop fighting to protect human life. If you are.
Okay. So, this guy here. Okay, let me start. All right. Because I want to make a broader point here. Specifically about how conservatives react to this kind of thing. So, recently, here you go, hold on. A man assaulting abortion rights protester in Iowa. I don't know how, I'm not surprised. Pro-lifers are fucking insane. Let's watch.
You baby killing motherfuckers gonna.
Whoa, why is that echoing so much? Okay, that's not me. Alright.
Rot in hell. Killing you.
You need to stop, sir.
Like another human.
Wait.
You should not hit me, sir.
Don't stir me.
You should not.
How many babies do you fucking
Should you not hit
How
me?
many babies?
You should not.
How
hit
many
me.
babies have you killed? You have no
Sir.
problem.
Why are these people so deranged? I could never imagine just like without shame or embarrassment just walking up to someone and be like doing this. You know what I mean? I'll probably scream, right? But I wouldn't like assault someone.
You need to back up now. No, don't.
You come in my little town.
It's good that he's recording this too. I think that's important. Like record the assault, you know? I don't know if this guy got charged after the fact, but this has only got 6,000 views. That's kind of low.
Yeah.
Stupid fucking
Sir.
sign.
I live here.
Sir.
She lives here.
You're a bunch of communist motherfuckers.
We're not.
Exercising
You need to
our
stop.
constitutional
You
rights.
kill babies.
Sir, you need to
You
stop.
kill babies every
You
fucking way.
need to stop. You
I'll
need
take
to
that fucking
stop.
phone up your ass.
You need to stop,
You're
or you're going to end up in trouble with the law. It's illegal to hit people still. It's illegal to hit people still in the
Oh,
United
you will with this
States.
fuck too?
It's illegal.
Purple hair son of a bitch.
Yeah, stay back. Stay back.
I am
Purple
not,
hair.
They are exercising their First Amendment right to do what
Stay
they
back.
want.
Sir,
You cannot
you
get
need to
involved in this.
stop.
You're
You
a
need to
bunch of
stop.
baby killing motherfuckers.
Okay, that's
All of
fine.
you.
But you need to stop.
Thousands of babies have been killed
You are.
because you motherfuckers think it's okay to kill babies.
You are.
Man, this guy's got a big ass fucking booger under his nostril.
You are causing a problem.
Go away
We
right
have
now.
my
house.
to back
Get
off.
away from where I
All right, I think we get the gist here. But you know how like these people are insane, all right? Like, yeah, these people are fucking lunatics. Oh, there's apparently even an article about this. Yeah, so you know how like that happened? Look at the way in which Michael Knowles in this case is representing the conservative response to he says pro-abortion, but I guess that's technically accurate, but pro-choice behavior. Now, this guy assaulted someone. Keep that in mind. Now, the article that Michael Knowles is responding to here is about a man urinating, basically committing vandalism against a building that was a pro-life building, I guess. But yeah, look at the way he responds to
We will
that.
never, ever stop fighting to protect human life. If you are a grown man, there's video footage of this, by the way. If you are a grown man...
And I covered this on stream like a month or two ago, but I just think that it's good to provide a, like taking into account what he's saying when also knowing that this kind of behavior is also happening.
...up and urinates on a women's organization's building and screams and yells and shrieks. Something has probably gone wrong in the way you're thinking about things. If you are an adult and you march to a residential neighborhood to scare a judge's children because you don't like a ruling that the judge may hand down, something has gone wrong with the way you're thinking about politics.
And by scaring, he means just like urinating or committing vandalism against a building, like an inanimate object. And all the while, pro-lifers over here, the guy who isn't totally the mentally unwell person, is literally walking up to protesters and committing assault. So yeah, the lesson I suppose here is I don't know, just that pro-lifers are crazy. I don't know. Like, imagine just being this man for a second. Like, if I saw people protesting something that I didn't agree with, my first reaction would not be to flip them off, walk up to them, and subsequently commit assault. Like, I know, like, there's crazy people with any movement, especially with politics. I understand that, but it seems like the crazy spectrum concentrates towards the right. Like, there's literally been pro-lifers who bomb abortion clinics. Like, I'm sorry, but like the degree to which I'm allowing, like, I'm playing both sides here, I can't really do that with this. Just pro-lifers seem to be, disproportionately speaking, more accepting of using violence than pro-choicers. So yeah, that's my opinion there. All right. Now, I suppose this last thing I want to discuss is DeSantis. Let me just scroll up and find the thing. It was pretty recent, actually. Yeah, here we go. Okay, this was, how long ago was this? 2 days ago. Okay. All right, finally, let's talk about this, okay? Ron DeSantis, this is in Florida, announced he wants to aggressively prosecute people who seek abortions in Florida. DeSantis suspended an elected county attorney because he was refusing to prosecute them. DeSantis' abortion ban makes no exceptions for incest or rape. So this would be the same, if not similar, to the standards outlined by Indiana's recent abortion ban. Let's just hear what he says.
After the Dobbs decision was rendered,
I don't know why there's like this echo going on. I have no fucking idea, but I'm sorry about that.
By the U.S. Supreme Court, he signed a letter saying he would not enforce any laws relating to protecting the right to life in the state of Florida. And mind you, we have had prohibition on third trimester abortions for a long time. We've had prohibitions on partial birth abortions for a long time. And then most recently, the legislature enacted and I signed protections for unborn babies at 3.5 months. And when they are aborted, it's typically done through a dismemberment procedure, which is really inhumane.
That's not true. Usually when people get abortions, for starters, it's in the first trimester. But also, it's usually just, it's not a dismemberment more than it is just like a vacuum sucking up the cells, like a handful of cells. Also, you can take Plan B or be prescribed things that would, abort the fetus, if you catch it in time, of course, if you're within the time period. And then you just expel it. This is, he's referring, honestly, back to, like, 1980s, the silent scream propaganda bullshit that was perpetuated by pro-lifers, specifically, evangelical Christians. But, no, this is, to describe this as inhumane wouldn't make sense, given the fact that it's not a human yet.
Nevertheless, that is what the legislature has enacted. It's not for him to put himself above that and say that he is not going to enforce the laws.
This is so ironic. He says it's not up to him to think he's above the law, when what DeSantis is doing here is, what did he do? Suspend? Or, like, fire? Suspended someone, literally a mini authoritarian this guy is, suspending a county attorney for not prosecuting someone, like, yeah, this is ridiculous.
We don't elect people in one part of the state to have veto power over what the entire state decides on these important issues.
And this is also, like, notwithstanding the legality here, I think that this is kind of a weird way of thinking, because, like, when you have a state as large as, like, Florida, for example, or as diverse as Florida, there are different parts of a state that are very different. Like, for example, in California, Southern California is much different than Northern California, both in weather, climate, so on and so forth. And there are areas within California that, believe it or not, are pretty red. Now, with that being said, I think that to say, like, the whole state decides what everything does, I don't know if that's, like, a useful way of doing politics. Like, because it's commonly known that around cities, it's much more blue. They're usually more progressive, more college educated. So the politics and the beliefs of people within those cities are going to be vastly different from people who live in rural areas. I just think that there needs to be common ground, as painful as it is for me to say that about abortion, with respect to, like, letting people in certain areas get abortions that they want. You know, now of course I would ideally want abortions to just be allowed for everyone in the entirety of the United States, because it's no one else's business except the practitioner and the woman seeking the abortion. But if that's not on the table for some reason, then I think that you should make it to where specific areas in your state that are more progressive should be allowed to do that shit. That's just my opinion, though.
The Constitution of Florida has vested the veto power in the governor, not in individuals.
Yeah, so he basically wants to ban abortion. This is not surprising, of course. I think Texas is going to be another one that's going to just ban it outright. So that's, yeah. We live in a country. Oh yeah. What is, however, based is that Kansas recently voted against enforcing an abortion ban. Let me see if I can even pull that up. Let's see. Oh, just if you guys want, like, a general sense of, like, how crazy mainstream conservative, like, media has become, look no further than this. Yeah, so now we're evolving from Great Replacement to the JQ. On the most watched news show in the country, just open neo-Nazi propaganda being espoused. So that's cool. Oh my god. So much fucking bullshit to deal with. What was I looking for again? I don't know. Oh yeah, the Kansas thing. Well, the Kansas thing, I mean, like, the Kansas basically voted to not allow a ban on abortion, so that was based. That was a shining light in an otherwise dark room. Oh yeah, to circle back to the Taiwan thing again, and this will probably be the last thing I discuss regarding that. Let me just pull this up. This is kind of the picture I was low-key looking for earlier. Yeah, you know how like China said they're trying to prevent a war, and like it's the United States who's actually trying to like who's actually like subverting peace. Um, this is where they're conducting these exercises. They happen to just be, nothing suspicious whatsoever. Just they happen to be conducting military exercises around the entirety of the island. I mean, look how close this like this is right here. These military exercises. Look how close they are to like this island. It's like right on the border of international waters. Yeah, internal waters actually. So like you can I said that wrong. You can literally see like them being shot from the mainland, like the explosions. This is literally covering through there too, right by Taipei. This is don't worry guys, this is just trying to they're definitely not trying to go to war with Taiwan whatsoever. It's really it's really a United States fault. They should have never visited Taiwan. Oh my god. Well, it's been quite a morning thus far. Yeah. All right. I guess let's move on from all this bullshit to something that's also going to be not good news, but also like I don't know, not like end of the world World War II shit. Okay. Let me just pull up some shit. Oh god. I wonder if this guy said anything. Okay. I don't want to like content shark anyone, but I'm going to because it needs to be addressed here. It's apropos to the larger story here. I'll have to find it though. Oh, yeah.
Episode.
All right. All right. So, Has anyone here watched iCarly? Does anyone know that show? Or, I guess any show from Dan Schneider, Nickelodeon. Well, Jeanette McCurdy, who played Sam on iCarly, has recently, I suppose, wrote a memoir. And there are some things to discuss regarding that. Let me pull up the screen so I can see what I'm talking about. Jeanette McCurdy, who played Sam on iCarly, says she was photographed in bikini and given alcohol as a child actor. She was offered $300,000 to never speak publicly about her experiences at the network. Now, she didn't take this, and we will, obviously. But it's telling that she was offered this. She's revealing new abuses she hasn't faced, or she was forced to endure as a child actor. Now, it should be noted that the child acting world is pretty exploitative and abusive. We're going to watch an expose, I guess you could say, in a second here from this YouTuber. But let's read a little bit about what this information revealed from Jeanette said. So, in a New York Times profile published Wednesday promoting her new memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, the outlet reports that McCurdy writes in her book that she was once photographed in a bikini during Nickelodeon wardrobe fitting by an unnamed intimidating figure who has also encouraged her to drink alcohol. McCurdy was a teenager when she worked at the network. It is unclear if her mother, Deborah, who died in 2013 from breast cancer, was present during this particular incident, but according to the excerpts the Times paraphrased, she likely wouldn't have intervened on her child's behalf. Yeah. Apparently she'd instruct her daughter that instances like this were the price of fame. Again, I think that this sentence here supports what I said just a second ago. The fact that the child acting scene is pretty exploitative and abusive. And Jeanette McCurdy has expressed some of the abuse that she experienced, but also some of the mental disorders that she's had to contend with as a product of working on the show. For example, I know that she was suffering from eating disorders, and now the extent to which that's still the case, I can't speak to. I think that she is, I don't want to say healed, but she isn't suffering from that anymore. But regardless, this was in no doubt exacerbated by her character, the one that she had to play on iCarly. Everyone wants what you have, McCurdy recalled her mother telling her. This was not the only abuse McCurdy endured while Nickelodeon. She also wrote how she was under the assumption that she would get her own iCarly spinoff on the network, but ended up getting a co-starring slot on Sam and Cat, which paired her with the future pop music sensation Ariana Grande. According to the Times profile, McCurdy wrote that Nickelodeon prevented her from accepting other career opportunities during her time on Sam and Cat, yet this rule didn't apply to Grande. Now, that is an interesting piece of information. What finally undid me was when Ariana came whistle-toning in with excitement because she had spent the previous evening playing charades at Tom Hanks' house. McCurdy remembers in the memoir, that was the moment I broke. The actor further claims that after Sam and Cat was canceled in 2014, she rejected a $300,000 offer to not speak publicly about her time at Nickelodeon. McCurdy says in the memoir that her pursuit of acting was done solely to please her mother. Deborah, whose own parents hadn't wanted her to pursue acting, had her start auditioning for roles at 6 years old. This is honest to God child abuse. Forcing your child to do shit that they don't want to do, especially in an extremely exploitative industry like acting, it is paramount to child abuse in my opinion. This is why those TV or those actors and actresses who have children who try to make them into demigods or whatever. Though people who do that are as far as I'm concerned, engaging in child abuse. Yeah. Deborah seemed to display manipulative behavior when her daughter didn't book a job. Right. In an excerpt of her memoir published by Entertainment Weekly, McCurdy recalls sitting in an booster seat in her mom's car after failing to book a job as a child because she wasn't able to cry on cue. By the way, just so you know, crying as an actor, like forcing yourself to cry, is a very difficult thing to do. No less from a child. Like, a lot of actors, this is from my understanding at least, a lot of actors, when they need to cry, they have to, before they start engaging in the scene, have to, tap into unpleasant memories, right? Or unpleasant things to think about. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, because everyone's disposition is different. But crying like on demand is an extremely difficult thing to do. And that's why even some actors and actresses will like use a pin and they will pinch themselves, like just like a bobby, well, not a bobby pin, like just like like one of those like sharp pin things, whatever. They'll have that in their pocket and they'll try to they'll prick the side of their leg or something to solicit some sort of crying. So yeah, I think that this is kind of crazy to try to force a child to do this. McCurdy writes about the mixed emotions she felt not booking a job and tried to express to her mother she didn't want to act anymore because it made her feel uncomfortable. Yeah, I think that McCurdy even stated that like she was awkward with the acting. And it seems like, just based upon this short article I'm reading, that she was essentially forced into the acting industry. McCurdy described her mom's face in response to her quitting looked like she just ate a lemon. It contorts in a way that terrifies me. You can't quit, she sobs. This was our chance. This was our chance, McCurdy wrote. Her mom then banged her hand on the steering wheel, accidentally hit the horn. Mascara trickles down her cheeks. Hysteria frightens me and demands to be taken care of. McCurdy explained she attempted to defuse the situation by telling her mom, never mind, and suggested that they listen to a song her mom liked. McCurdy said that once the song started playing, her mom giddily began singing along, her mood having switched. That's pretty crazy. Going from like banging your hands on a steering wheel because your child expresses to you that they are uncomfortable doing something you want them to do, and then as soon as they say, oh, never mind, indicating that they obviously aren't being genuine, to then turn around and be like pretending as though things are okay and like just singing along with them. That's wow. Jesus Christ. Yeah. McCurdy has also been open in the past about how her mother sexually abused her. What? In an interview with People last year, McCurdy told the outlet that Deborah insisted on performing vaginal and breast exams on her until she was 17 and never let her shower alone. So this is okay. Yeah, that's fucking disgusting. Now, how does Dan Schneider fit into all this? Well, Dan Schneider has been very much, okay, we're going to watch this expose in a second here, but Dan Schneider has very much so been the center of controversy for a number of reasons that we will get into momentarily. I don't even think you know what? I don't even know if I'm even allowed to watch this. Because I don't want to get like yoinked, like copyrighted or whatever. But this is like so apropos. Damn it. I guess I can roll a dice on this and mute the sections that have them playing. I don't know. Well, I'll roll the dice on this. We'll see. But okay, yeah. So with respect to this, Dan Schneider has been accused a lot of like some outlandish claims, but like he's also just a lot of controversy associated with him. We'll get into it now because how this connects to Jeanette McCurdy, I mean, this is relevant. So we'll listen to a little bit here.
Nobody talks about pedophiles.
Oh, quick shout out. This is from Blame It on Jorge. He is exceptional in video production and just generally speak, like documentaries and such and the such. And I highly recommend subscribing and checking him out because he provides really top notch like quality work. Now I don't know. I probably won't even watch all of this. I just want to watch a little bit about Dan Schneider. So let's go.
Affiliate.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh, yeah. I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded. Literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me until I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
If you grew up watching Nickelodeon, then you may have heard of Dan Schneider. He was responsible for many of its hit shows during the 90s and 2000s, such as The Amanda Show, iCarly, and my personal favorite, Drake and Josh. In recent years, Dan has been brought into controversy due to rumors about abusive and possibly sexual behaviors between him and his young female co-stars. None of these rumors were grounded with any hard evidence, and most people dismissed it.
Yeah.
Until March 26, 2018, when Nickelodeon announced that they will be parting ways with Dan Schneider.
That's another thing. This was a couple years ago, but like apparently, I don't know if he was fired or if he was just like released or whatever. But the guy who like brought high ratings to Nickelodeon supposedly just apparently the studio and him decided to part ways with each other, which is unusual on the face value. I just think that that's worth pointing out as well. Hold on one second. Gosh darn it. Nah. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I can watch this. I'm not even gonna risk it. That's okay. Basically just here, okay? Basically just is this. Dan Schneider there has been many accusations levied against him with respect to sexual abuse and anger issues, right? And it's some of it's here, he said, she said, right? But some of it is genuine. Like there was a guy that I forget the name of who partnered with Dan, who was apparently accused of child abuse, or not child abuse, but like pedophilia or something. And he went to jail, and then he went like right back to the show or something. Can't remember his name.
Child actors. He was arrested and sentenced to 6 years in prison for molestation and possession of child pornography. And after serving his time, he was released and went straight back to working at Nickelodeon.
Oh.
Hollywood is one of the most...
Yeah, so that's kind of touching upon what I just said. The fact that, he went back to... Because something that should be kept in mind here is that, like, a lot of, like, pedophiles will take up occupations that get them close to children. Now, one of these occupations, evidently, is being, like, a producer on a children's show. The connections that this man had with Dan Schneider, created the environment for him to exploit children. I mean, he was convicted and sentenced to prison for it. And then he got out and went right back to being close to children again, which is unbelievable when you think about it. But yeah, I think that the degree to which this relates to Genevieve Curdy is that she has specifically brought to light some of the abuse that she's endured during the years, not just from her mother, but also from Dan Schneider. And this has, of course, contributed to her mental illness, or her eating disorder, and just generally the the shit that the shit that she's had to deal with over the years. But yeah. So I don't know. I just think that like this just as a commentary about like the broader child acting industry. I think that this just goes to show that, like, I mean, Hollywood is pretty fucked up, right? Especially with child actors, but there's a lot of shit we don't even know about. You know what I mean? And a lot of people who aren't speaking out for fear of not being believed, or I mean, similar to the reasons why women who are sexually assaulted don't come out and report it. But yeah, I just can't get over the fact that she was like literally photographed in a bikini while a child. It's crazy. But is it though? Because I mean, like I said, I'm sure that this is commonplace. Oh God. I need like a break or something. My cat's just over there chilling. He's sleeping. I would be bringing him on camera now, but he is chilling there. Okay. Oh yeah. So I wasn't even going to talk about this. I don't know what's going on with the Alex Jones shit. Okay? Like I don't know shit about that. The only thing I know is that he has to pay $4 million in restitution to the families of the Sandy Hook parents. I guess we'll look into it a little bit. I don't know much about what's going on here. Alright, let's read together. I like learning. Okay, so this article is Alex Jones' lawyer could face legal consequences for phone records release. The lawyer defending conspiracy theorist Alex Jones in a Texas trial drew his own national headlines this week for accidentally handing over highly sensitive data to his adversaries, opening him up to potential legal consequences. He acknowledged that Jones' legal team had provided lawyers for parents of a child killed in the Sandy Hook elementary school mass shooting with a digital copy of the InfoWars founder's phone contents, which included text messages and medical records. Wow. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Wait, that's like a violation of HIPAA. The disclosure was made public by a lawyer for the parents in a dramatic exchange with Jones as the trial neared its end. The revelation may have exposed Reinhold to sanctions in a different case, as well as the potential for malpractice claims by Jones. Jesus Christ, dude. Jones could pursue a malpractice claim against his attorneys, but would have to prove that he would have had a better result from the Texas trial if the phone information had been handed over. This is fucking complicated. Jones couldn't immediately be reached for comment. An Austin jury on Friday awarded the parents $45.2 million in punitive damages against Jones for falsely claiming the 2012 massacre a hoax on top of a $4.1 million compensatory. Okay. The judge, Austin, had rejected a bid by Reynolds on Thursday to shield the phone records and denied his request for a mistrial over the disclosure. I don't know shit about what's happening. The Connecticut judge overseeing another defamation case against Jones. Wow. He successfully defended. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're just getting a little bit more in the lore here. I'm sorry, but like, this story is like. Are there any good memes from this? Because like, I don't really find this particularly of interest. Obviously, I think that he should be punished for perpetuating, like, literally conspiracy theories about the massacre of children. I think, didn't he also say, like, the children were, like, I don't know, actors or something? Yeah. I don't know. Like, obviously, he should be, like, you know, he should be fucking held to a high standard here. I just don't know, like, I don't know if there's, like anything. To me, like, watching, like, you know, like, trials and shit, it's just, like, not, like, I don't care that much, I guess. It's not like it's really... I don't know. I know a lot of people watch this shit for, like, entertainment, but, I don't know. I don't think it should be used for that purpose. Yeah. Okay. Um... Oh, wow. That looks interesting. That's going on my watch later. All right. Okay, I don't think there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, let me bring some hopium out to y'all. Okay, some good news for once. In California, they had recently passed SB 107, which is which will make California a safe haven for trans family refugees fleeing Texas, Alabama, and Florida. So for trans teens, okay, there will be no medical cooperation, no extradition, no release of info, and no out-of-state child custody removals. So now the extent to which this is allowed, I mean, this passed, so I mean that's what it is. But like these states, right? You may as well throw in Idaho, right? Because they tried to do the same shit. But these states, plus Idaho, I guess, are attempting to prosecute not just the parents, but also the the trans people who go across state lines to receive certain care. This is impossible to do because you can't enforce your laws upon another state's jurisdiction. So that's not how that works. Now, with respect to this, no extradition, no like because it's like a multi-state thing. I don't know how much this can be allowed, because how much leeway legally, because I don't know, can you give to like a state that is trying to extradite a person traveling across state lines? I don't think they can, honestly. I don't think they can like force, if you go to another state, I don't know if you can like force them to come back and be charged with whatever crime, right? Like, I don't know. But regardless, I think that this is objectively good. This is just the bill, the Senate bill. This bill would prohibit a provider of healthcare, a healthcare service plan, or a contractor from releasing medical information related to the sensitive services. Or this is basically like, wouldn't this just be like an enforcement of HIPAA laws, which is a national thing? Or entity allowing a child to receive gender-affirming healthcare in response to a criminal or civil action, including a foreign subpoena based on another state's law that authorizes the person. Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of addressing what I was thinking about a second ago. Existing law, known as the Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction and Enforcement Act, provides the state exclusive jurisdictional basis for making an initial child custody determination, and permits a California court to assume temporary emergency jurisdiction in specified circumstances. Existing law permits a court to decline to exercise its jurisdiction if it determines that it is an inconvenient forum and a court in another state is a more appropriate forum. Okay. This is good, I would say. That is good. Some good shit happening for once. I'll take it. Oh, let's see. Okay. I don't think there's any much more to be talked about. Kind of covered everything I wanted, I guess. Oh shit, I forgot about this too. But I don't really care that much. Alright. We're almost going on 2 hours, okay. Let's see. Oh, I guess the last thing I'll talk about before I go here is that if you don't know, Critical, who is a pretty large gaming streamer, he had put out like a challenge for people to to beat Halo 2, Lasso, No Envy, Deathless. Now, if you don't know what any of these things mean, that's okay. I'll explain. So Halo 2, first off, is a first-person shooter. And Lasso refers to the legendary All Skulls On. Now, skulls make the game more difficult. So the more skulls that are put on, with the exception of Envy, make the game harder. Now, no one has ever beaten Halo 2, Lasso, Deathless, excluding Envy. No one's ever done that. Except recently, someone did do that. Someone beat it, and he handed out an award of $20,000, which was pretty fucking, like, base. Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. No, you know what? It's fine. But yeah, lasso is a incredibly difficult thing for Halo. It took the guy, I think, like over 6 hours to do it. And normally, if like you're speedrunning the game or whatever, you can beat it in like an hour 30. But the fact, yeah, so lasso makes the game substantially harder. I just think, I mean, I gotta give props to this guy who beat it. His name is Jervalian, I think. Jervalian or something. The guy, like, it's crazy, okay? Like, this is probably, like, one of the most difficult challenges in all of gaming. To beat Halo 2 on Legendary, with all the schools on, except for Envy, and to do it without dying, it is unfathomably difficult. I could spend a stream one day, maybe not next week, maybe the week before or the week after. Just playing Halo 2 on Legendary, trying to beat it. Like, the game is fucking hardcore difficult. Let me just show you the moment that it happened. Oh god, okay. There's my face. It looked terrible. There we go.
Yes. Let's go! There you go, Chad. That's it. I've never been so happy to lose 20 grand. That is so fucking huge. 18 years in the making.
Again, no one's ever beaten this game before. It is an honest-to-God miracle that this man was able to do it without dying. Keep in mind, without dying. It's just incredible. So yeah, gotta give props to this guy, dude. Like, again, this is probably like one of the most difficult challenges to do in like all of gaming. Now, supposedly this guy is also attempting to do another run like this, with the only difference being that he's going to do it without shooting a single bullet. So simply meleeing. That is going to be fucking hard, dude. Because now I just thought about the fact that, like, when you get to Tartarus at the end, right? Like, that you're gonna have to be meleeing. You're gonna have to be kiting the guy so fucking hard, because like how, like he was able to do it with the Banshee, right? But like when you get to Tartarus, like all it takes is one swing, and you are dead. It's just like, yeah, I don't know how the fuck that's gonna even be possible. You know, that's gonna take so long. I'm trying to think of another instance where it can be difficult to not shoot a bullet. I think oh yeah, during Gravemine's gonna be hard too. That's gonna be... Jesus Christ. Well, I think what I'm gonna do is try to beat Halo 2 on Legendary one of these streams, and then maybe I'll make my own attempt at Lasso, but honestly, I don't... it's gonna take so fucking long. So, I don't know, man, but yeah, again, props to this guy for being able to beat that game. Because God knows, people have been trying for a while. Maybe not as much of an effort has been placed on beating this challenge until the bounty was placed by Critical, but yeah. Okay. So, with that being said, let's see. I think what I'm going to do is call it a day. I mean, time flew by today. It's been like almost 2 hours. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna go. But so next week, I'm gonna do a research stream on Taiwan and China. Okay. Hopefully, unless something like a major happens, like I don't know, something like insane happens in the news cycle between now and August 13th. That is the plan. Okay. To cover the history there, the modern history. I don't even know how long it would take. I don't know, but I'm gonna I'm just gonna block it for the entire stream, or yeah, assume it's gonna take the entire stream. But yeah, that's the plan. I do want to learn. I like learning. Learning is pog. About that, and then I might do another research stream in the future about Russia or the USSR, that history shit. Really about Stalin, because I think a lot of lefties are under the delusion that Stalin is an accurate representation of leftism or communism, or that he was like good or whatever. There's some nuance here, but I think that we need to address that for sure. And then I also do want to do a research stream about Yemen, about the history of Yemen and the current conflict that is still taking place there. So those are the 3 research streams that I have on the agenda right now. I expect to do the Taiwan-China one next week. I don't know when I'm going to do the other 2. I could do them... Oh, because I do want to cover, like, general news shit, right? So I might have to sparse it out. But, yeah. I also want to do a couple of gaming streams with Halo. I want to try to beat the game on Legendary. I've never done it before. But I've been playing Halo for so long that I feel like it shouldn't be that hard, but we'll see. So, yeah. So that's on the agenda as well. So those 3 research streams on the agenda, as well as beating Halo on Legendary. Maybe I'll take a whack at Lasso. And then that's that. Trying to think if there's anything else. Don't think so. I think the Stalin stream is going to be pretty long. So I don't know. But yeah, anyway. I don't want to take up too much time here. That's the agenda for now. Again, unless something, barring any like major escalations with Taiwan and China between now and next week, I expect to dedicate an entire stream basically to researching that. I already did a little bit in last week's stream, but I do want to get a little more in depth about it, So, with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. And I will see you guys next week. Take care.